a thumbs up. You going live, right? Excellent. Thank you all for joining. I truly appreciate it. It is, if you noticed it, I rebranded it from Variety Friday to TGI Friday, right? So we are in the process of doing some adjustments and schedules. Twice a week is what we're going to look at. And see how this works out. So thank you very much for making time on a Friday. We have a very, very busy agenda, an awesome speaker. Zena is back with us to get our posture aligned too, fresh from her experience, fresh from a very, very busy week, and with a beautiful camera in front of her. Zena, welcome back. We missed you. I'm telling you, we're all twisted backwards. So it's really good to see you. We are then going to have Miss Lene Cook-Braxton, who's joining us from Atlanta. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. It's late out there, so I know, I truly appreciate you joining us. So our special speaker is Lene, who is going to talk about mindful, sorry?
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. She's going to talk about mindful leadership and self-care for entrepreneurs. So you guys ready for a great show today? You know what we do first, right? The first thing we do is we have to start it off with our executive director, who is also now acting president also, since the president is absent. So he's all powerful today. It's all yours, Mr. Executive Director. Tell us the state of TiE, what's coming up. We have so many things coming up, man. You guys have been keeping us busy with a lot of activities. So tell us what's going on. Tell us about the state of TiE.
Hey guys, good to see you guys on a happy Friday. It's a little gloomy, but it's time for cognac. And looking forward to Lene's talk today. Really excited to have her here. And today on the next Wednesday event webinar, we're having a topic which is going to be, due to COVID, a lot of supply chains are changing. So the topic is going to be redesigning supply chain for a post-COVID-19 world. And there's about 7 panelists from US and India who are going to be on the panel on next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So please, connect to that one. And we have another event, which 17th event, which Ravi is putting together. He is going to share that soon. And we have a 24th, June 24th, which is another virtual pitch event is coming up, our June event. And we already have more than 10 startups already applied for it. So it's looking good. That's about it from my side. So
that's brilliant. Thank you so much for that. You guys have been so keeping us so busy, keeping us so engaged. You have built this incredible community on LU, and Anshuman have. I had 2 events today, 3 events yesterday that you guys were on top of. There is one coming up tomorrow, I think. And I mean, this has been really, really, you guys have been on top of it. So really, congratulations on everything that's going on. Good stuff. I can't wait for next Wednesday's supply chain event. We are back Monday, by the way. Monday and Friday is what we are working on. I'm looking for a speaker, so still working on Monday's agenda. But you just mentioned the June 17th event, which is going to be on my topic, which is going to be my favorite topic, right? What is my favorite topic? Cars, right? Cars is my favorite topic all the time. I love the automotive industry. So we're going to talk about how the automotive industry is going to look after COVID, right? So I'm hoping to have a market research firm coming in, hopefully a dealership coming in, and I'm working on an OEM perspective. More coming. I will finalize the agenda, finalize the speakers over the weekend, and tell you guys about it. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. It's going to be June 17th, and I think it's going to be a 4 o'clock event. So
I hope
look out for it.
I hope you guys joined today to the talk this morning. Jacksonville Jaguars head coach was there. It was a very interesting topic. and what he's talking about, what are the changes going to be coming. It was good. It was a good event this morning.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. Cool. You know what we do, right? We have got Zena back, and it's, you know what time it is, right? It's time to get ourselves straightened out. So Zena, it's all yours. Welcome back. Hopefully you're having a lot of fun with the Google folks, but we missed you here. So thank you for your time, truly, and welcome back. It's all yours, Zena.
Thank you, guys. Yes, I apologize. I've been absent. It's been a little busy, but it's starting to calm down, which is good. Okay, so today, for those of you who don't know me, Lene, I think, and maybe Tino, I am Zena Dalla. I am a certified postural alignment specialist, and I do virtual posture workshops for Google. I guess that's my new tagline. And other employees and other companies that would like to do posture workshops and learn about how to decrease their pain in their work from home environments. So today we're going to talk about the pelvis. So if you have lower back pain, you might have something we call a pelvic disparity. So I put my hands up like this to indicate a pelvis, right? So here is my pelvis. And so if I have a pelvic disparity, it means that one side of my pelvis might be tilting forward. It might be in an anterior pelvic tilt, which would be this way. And then the other side of my pelvis might be in a posterior pelvic tilt, which would be this way. All right, that's kind of a lie. It's rare that it would be one would be posterior and one would be anterior. But what it usually means is that it might be posterior or anterior, so forward or backwards, of each other in relation to each other. So if that's the case, then all the muscles in the low back and around the tailbone and the sacrum can really get angry because they're not in alignment. So today we're going to do an exercise that's going to help align that. And it seems like it's easy, but it's not very easy. We might have done this once before. It's called sitting isolated hip flexor lifts. So, Ravi, what do we do when we do posture exercises?
Sit at the edge of the chair.
Sit at the edge of your chair. So scoot to the front of your chair. And I've got my new camera here, so I'm just trying to figure out. I should have put my earphones on, but can you hear me back here?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so we want to sit at the edge of our chair. You want to have your feet flat, and you want to make sure that your feet are parallel and facing forward. That's really important for this exercise, okay? Then we're going to make sure that our pelvis is in what we call a neutral alignment. So you're going to take your hands like this, place your fingers on your pubic bone, and your thumbs on your belly button. And you want to make sure that you're not tilting forward or tilting backwards, that your hands are nice and flat, okay? Another way that you can tell if you're in neutral is if you pull away like the fleshy part of your glutes, you should be able to feel your kind of sit bone, the bony part of your butt kind of sitting in your chair, all right? From there, let's just roll the shoulders back just so we have good posture. We're not going to actually be doing anything with our upper body here. We're going to be focused on our hip flexor. Then we're going to lift our feet up so that we're up on the balls of our feet. So what I mean by that is that I've got my heel lifted up off the floor. Okay, so I'm still in that parallel position, and I've got both heels lifted off the floor. My hands are on my thighs. Then from there, I'm just going to lift one leg up at a time. And when I do that, I want to make sure that my pelvis does not rock back. Okay, so we're going to keep it still, and I'm going to use this muscle right here in the crease of my hip to gently just lift that leg up off the floor. Should be a little harder than you think it is. Does it feel a little hard? Like, whoa, I'm not sure if I can lift that leg up. Yeah, exactly. Again, you want to keep the pelvis still, and you want to just lift from this hip flexor. Mine's starting to get tired. Let's do two more. Lift, and then lift. Good. Now you can still keep the heels lifted, and now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to lift this leg up and down, up and down. Now what I want you to pay attention to is, does one side feel weaker than the other? Okay, yes. I got a couple of head shakes there. Yeah, this side feels weaker. Maybe this side feels stronger. For me, this is my weaker side. So lift. We'll do 4 more. 3, 2. And again, we don't want the pelvis to rock. You're keeping it still, and you're using these muscles right in there. Good. And you can bring your heels down, roll your shoulders out, and relax. Good. So did you guys feel one side that might be weaker or stronger than the other? There's a small group.
Left side is slightly weaker, but not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay, anybody else?
Not too bad.
Not too bad? So
Okay.
usually the side that weaker is the side that's sitting in a slightly backwards position. That's usually the case, because that means that that hip flexor muscle is not pulling the hip into a flexed position. So if your hip flexor is weak, it's not working. And so usually when I find a disparity, we'll find that the whatever side, it's usually the left actually, is the side that's sitting in a slightly different position than the right. So that could be a cause for low back pain. So that's an easy exercise, as you saw, you can do. You could do that right now while you're doing this session right now. And as you can see, if you're doing it correctly, I'm doing it right now. I'm not rocking over. I'm not moving. I'm staying super still, and I'm just using that hip flexor muscle. So it might be a good way to kind of do it and then watch yourself in the frame while you're doing your video calls. Am I moving forward? Are my hips shifting? You know.
Interesting.
So, anyway, so that's today's tip on pelvic disparities and potentially low back pain.
Nice word. Pelvic disparity. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Zena. Zena, you know what to do, right? Go ahead.
Ravi, sorry to interrupt, but Zena, tell us a little bit more about like what you're doing with Google and how often you're doing these workshops. I'm really interested.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did a free sort of sales presentation for them about 2 weeks ago for their APB team, which is their administrative business partners, and they're the team, all the individuals within each team that set up events and that kind of coordinate the well-being of the team. So then it was obviously a captive audience. So then now I'm doing, I've done 4 paid virtual posture workshops. I have 2 scheduled next week, I think 3 the following week, with just different teams. And then I'm working on getting more signups for my subscription desk coaching program. Haven't quite slammed that sale yet, but it's really close. I have a lot of APBs trying it out and doing the exercises every day. So yeah, and I think I sent out like 17 proposals to different teams.
Wow.
So yeah, so hopefully at least 15 of those.
That's awesome. Really happy for you.
Yeah, it's really good. And at least once every week I get another referral from somebody who's telling somebody who's telling somebody. So.
And for, I already know the answer to this question, but for the benefit of the newcomers, your target audience is small to mid-sized businesses, is that right?
Yeah, or Google. No. Actually, I just got referred into Apple. I got referred into Apple today as well too, so we'll see what happens with that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have friends in high places now.
Ooh, nice. Good for you.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yes, it is. I do. My target audience is HR directors or heads of companies, anywhere from 5 to 250 employees. My posture workshop, it can be done. I mean, technology is really the limit. So right now we're limiting it at 250 people. It is live. I try to make it really engaging where they can ask a lot of questions, and I ask questions of the group, and then we do exercises together. So like we did today, I'll do anywhere from 8 to 10 exercises. I'll actually show the exercise and come in and watch videos and give feedback to people, call out names, answer questions. And then I have my monthly subscription program where you can continue with daily posture exercises at your desk.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Sounds like you're having fun.
And really, it's really fun. It's a little nerve-wracking because it's Google Meet, so it's not as friendly as Zoom, but I'm getting the hang of it. I'm figuring it out.
But you know what? Googlers are absolutely a different kind of people. They are absolutely a fun bunch. They're very easy. I think I've had a couple of meetings with Google's Waymo team, and they're very, very different from a corporate environment. And it feels very different. So good for you. Congratulations. You know what to do. Please put in your website and contact info. I know the rest of a lot of people know it, but those who don't, put it in there. We'll encourage people to log in and take a look at it and subscribe to your newsletter too. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's take a few minutes. I know we are a little behind, Lene. Give us a few more minutes. I want to say hi to the rest of the gallery here, right? All good. I know we have not had a bunch of people come in. We have newcomers and returns from a while back. So I'll start with a person who has been so supportive of us all the time, Mr. Balaji Rao. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man.
How are things going?
Doing well. Market is doing well. I'm happy. People are happy.
I mean, think about a wee back, that is a rocket ship back to the moon out there.
I know.
That market feels like a rocket back to the moon.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Good.
Excellent. Good to see you. Whereas, Dhaval and I were thinking, and Anil was also partaking in imagining what drink you're having. And I was thinking beer. Anil was thinking cognac. I'm not sure what you're having. I was thinking margarita too, but Dhaval was saying margarita.
Red wine, I think.
Red wine. We're still debating.
Okay.
Who
I have
won?
beer. I have beer.
Yay! Anil, obviously it's not a Friday for him without a cognac, I guess. Right? So, good. I'm glad you're having a beer. I can see a nice cup of tea in front of Zena there. So that's fantastic. Welcome back. Good to see you. I'm going to go around the gallery out here and go in the order that it is here. Ashok, we have not seen you for a few days. Ashok, welcome back. I love
What do you
your...
mean?
Ashok, you're back from the Bahamas.
Yes.
Or what was it? Yes, Bahamas, right?
Yeah, I've been back. I think we talked after I came back. But what do you mean? I think after Monday's today, right?
That's correct. That's correct. We are trying to do it twice a week now.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I'm
Good to
fine,
see
doing
you.
fine, and just busy as usual.
Yeah. Good to see you. Hope all your properties are okay, Ashok.
Oh yeah, everything is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
That's good. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I hope Avi call back. Avi, I'll be calling you back.
Excellent.
Yeah, sure.
A man sitting on a couch who has been a stranger, a real stranger for us, whose son is fantastically, he's so proud. He must be so proud of his son, I'm telling you. But Sanjay, welcome back. Tell us, how are you doing, sir?
I think you pretty much said everything I needed to say, man.
What are you drinking, by the way? What are you drinking, by the way?
I was drinking some chai earlier. Then I think my son loves coffee, so I interchange chai with coffee. Don't ask me why, but I do.
Good for you. Hey,
So
whatever works,
Sanjay.
it's Friday. Whatever
Sanjay,
works, it's
congrats to
Friday.
your son.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, he has been really busy. I know Dhaval and even a friend of mine, they've been trying to
And I was
ask him to
telling
do an
Ravi,
interview, but he doesn't even have time for this.
I know, I reached out. So we would love to have him here. Balaji has already recommended this. So once all the dust settles, Sanjay, I'd love to have him over here, over as a special speaker out here. We'd love to have that. So
I would love to have it too, but I guess I need to tell him it's a good thing.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Sanjay is the proud father of SpaceX, a very space engineer. What was his title, Sanjay?
Dragon.
What's that? Sorry?
Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So he started as a launch engineer.
Right. Launch
He
engineer.
was at Vandenberg where they did all the launches
Right.
from there.
Right.
And now he's part of the team that does launches from Florida.
Right. Excellent. Right. I mean, he was very actively involved in that SpaceX launch. So
How old is he? 22,
congratulations.
24, something like that?
He'll be turning 25 this August, so he's almost 25.
Brilliant. And in an industry,
Yeah, I don't think
that's
I had accomplished as much as he has done by 25. So
absolutely brilliant.
it's good to see the
it's
kids are doing better than the parents for sure.
Hey, you're doing very well, Sanjay. I'm telling you. Seriously. So,
Sanjay,
hey,
is he
Outgoing
based
is
out of Hawthorne or
it's
is
a
he in
small
Florida?
enterprise, by the way.
Sorry.
What you said,
Sorry.
Dhaval?
What
That
did
was
you
a
say,
question.
Dhaval? Sorry.
No, I was asking Sanjay if he's based out of Hawthorne or out of Florida, Orlando.
No, he's here in Hawthorne. He's at the headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. We
Oh,
have.
by the way, when things normalize, one thing he will have any of us go and get a tour of the SpaceX, headquarters anytime
Yeah.
once they allow guests. So I definitely recommend everybody to take the tour.
I've done it twice. I love it, man, and I'd love to go again. It's well worth it.
There you go.
Absolutely, it's a great place. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ravi.
We should
Thank
plan
you,
it in
Ravi.
conjunction with like a TiE event, so we go there during the day and then
They actually
TiE
have a
takes
very
dinner
nice.
at night.
Yeah, it's a whole process. They give you a complete tour. So absolutely, Sanjay, we should take you up on that. That's going to be an awesome.
I mean, to me, that would be a great use of his time as well. Hopefully later this year.
Yeah, that'll be brilliant.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
Thank
he
you,
could
guys.
tell us and focus
Yeah.
on space, perhaps focus an event on space and do it all around
You,
that.
you
So-
know, one of the, sorry to take
no,
maybe
go for it. Go for
10
it.
seconds more.
Go for it.
One of the shows we have been recently watching on Apple TV Plus is called All My Mankind, I believe that's the name.
Mm.
And we weren't too sure, so the other day we were like, what to watch, and we just started watching it, and it's a beautiful show. It's 10 episodes. We are on 6 or 7.
You
And
said
my
All
wife,
My Mankind?
my wife,
What is it
Rohan
called?
and we watch
Is
it
it called?
together, and it's beautiful. You're gonna love it. If you love space, this has to do with alternate reality as to what could have happened if we had continued the program, in the 60s onwards.
Wow.
Sanjay, tell the name of the program again.
I believe it's All My Mankind or All the Mankind, one of the two.
Okay.
And it's all about the space, when we went first to the moon, NASA did. And it's all about what if they had continued. So the whole alternate reality. So it's very interesting. You got to watch it. Anybody who's a space nerd or who loves space, they will love it.
I'm a space junkie. Absolutely. Count
I
me
didn't
in.
want to use that
Anything.
word, but thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love that. So
All right. Thanks, guys.
I love that. Welcome and good to see you, Sanjay.
Good to see you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. We have a guest with us. We have a visitor here. Tino Go. Am I getting your name right? Tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome to our Connect conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so normally I'm a participant in TiE New York, but since it's easy to travel these days, I decided to join you all. And what we've done is we've created an augmented reality platform that we use as a controller for manufacturing processes. And we're applying it initially to the furniture industry, where you can choose a product and scale it in augmented reality, purchase it, we deliver it the following week. The way we're able to do that is we're encoding that virtual object with CNC machine instructions, and we're sending the instructions and the materials to a local workshop with the idle CNC in the customer's home city. So it's a supply chain innovation where we've taken a global supply chain and collapsed it down to a 1-week hyper-local process. And we're initially applying it to wood furniture, something very mundane.
Brilliant. I have my partner, Frank Ferreira, is a very avid carpenter. He's retired and he loves carpentry. So I'd love to see how we are also talking about 3D printing and stuff like that. We've been talking about 3D printing. So would love to have that over. Would love to learn a lot more. So please do join us regularly, Tino, and drop us in that chat box of ours. Drop us your contact information so that we can add you to the Connect list, to our WhatsApp Connect group, and keep you posted so that you can join us more frequently. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, let's do this quickly. Avi, you're next, man. Long time no see, no talk. And your WhatsApp messages are really, you are one of the most active people that I know, man. I'm telling you, you're on another galaxy there from a sales standpoint. How many houses did you sell?
Yeah, a couple of escrow going on, and one is closing next week. So it's kind of busy. A lot of deals are coming in the market. So just keeping ourselves busy, making offers, and yeah, a lot of things. Good thing is now everything is open pretty much, and everything getting back to normal now.
Fantastic.
Good to see you guys all.
Yeah, very good to see you, and looking forward to staying and seeing you again on Monday. Dhaval, you're next, and then Mo. Okay, and we'll get our Dhaval. What's going on, man? How are you doing, sir?
Everything is good. Been busy. A lot of things going on. I'm not sure if this is a V-shaped recovery or a W-shaped recovery. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, and trying to see if there's another downturn coming or what. But this definitely feels strange, but strange in a good way. So I'm going with it.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's about the future, right? And I think after all these hiccups and stuff like that, whether there are a few bumps in the road or whatever, I think longer term, the stock market typically is a reflector of the longer term, right? And I think overall, if there's one place that is bullish, I think America is the place to be. So I think the market bullish. And the job numbers were pretty good. I was surprised. I think we are going to get back to work pretty soon, and it's going to be. I'm betting on I'm betting on a we, but we never know, right? So hopefully, Mo, welcome back, man.
Thank you, Ravi. Good to see you. I haven't seen you
see
for quite some time.
I
I miss you.
You've been a stranger.
You got a haircut since I last saw you.
Thank you.
I prefer the December, January Ravi with the long hair. I don't know how many people remember that. I remember that. I think that matched you better, to be honest with you. So something to think about. And Deval, yeah, I had that same thought. Is this a W or is this a V? What I think it shows, though, and you as somebody who worked in, in the heart and center of this knows better than most of us, but I think what it shows is that Wall Street is hoping and doing their part to give the current president a second term, because it looks like they are trying to enhance the narrative. So I think that there's a lot of politics and stuff going on, but hey, a good market, there's a saying, happy wife, happy life. For us entrepreneurs, happy market, happy life. So, I think that I'm pretty confident that it'll stick around for a while, Deval. I think it's, my personal opinion is it's a V, but you never know these days.
So,
Mo, actually, I was thinking about you yesterday because on what's that guy's name? On CNBC yesterday, they were talking about how this was the greatest wealth transfer in the history. And it was essentially a government mandated wealth transfer in history. So I remember you saying those same exact words about a month ago. So I wanted to make sure you got credit for that. And I was thinking about you last night.
Well, coming from somebody who worked in the HQ of a big bank, that means a lot to me, because now I just found out that maybe I know something about money and the market. So I got validated by you. So I'm happy now. But absolutely, this last couple months has been the greatest wealth transfer in history. And the people of Wall Street like that, right? Yep. The people of Wall Street like that. So they will do everything in their power for that to continue. But you know how I am. Ravi, I'm going to put the microphone on mute before I get carried away. Okay, look.
No, don't put it
that
on
was,
mute.
by the way, that was
Don't
Jim Cramer.
Don't put it on
that was Jim Cramer.
No,
I'll send you the link for his clip. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's always good to hear you guys. And I think Dhaval, we were talking about this at our other forum, the automotive forum with Strategic Vision, where we were looking at the market over the past 30 years, right? And especially in the 2008, 2009, and again 2014, the rebound happened. It was a V. I'm betting on a V. But then longer term, I mean, I look at a market at 18 months, right? So I think the magnitude of the QE equivalent that is happening right now, when they try to tune it back, is when the market, you've let it's at 0%, man. The minute you go, this is a drug, right? Once you're on that drug, the minute you try to tighten it back up, it's going to be then that you're going to have to adjust. And we have not been very good at adjusting beyond 2.5% interest, right? From a Fed standpoint.
And just last 5 seconds, I think inflation may kick in the fall right before the election. So to Mo's point, this is a little too early. So timing is off by maybe about 4 months. But anyway, that's a much longer conversation. Yeah, we have a super guest that I'm excited about today. So.
I think people are being bullied into positions that is absolutely anyway. That's politics. Hey, listen, we don't wear red hats, we don't wear blue hats out here. We wear white hats, right? So listen, I don't think Pankaj, I'll catch up with you later because you're in the midst of a drive in a beautiful Ferrari that I can see the door handles of. So. Pankaj, so I'll let you focus on your road out there. And if I missed anybody, we'll come right back because we have a fantastic guest. And thank you, Lene, for going way above. Talk about Indian Standard Time. You've been waiting for 15 minutes. I apologize about the delay, but thank you for Thank you for indulging us. I know there's another person called Jane, but we'll come back to that after we have an open mic at the end. This was just to say hi to the gallery, right? We have an awesome guest, Lene Braxton. Let me walk through her bio a little bit because it's very, very impressive. Our guest is introduced to us by Mr. Mo Rock, by the way. So thank you, Mo, is Miss Lene Cook Braxton. She is the founder of the Holistic Performance Center and creator of the Guided Meditation for Success, which is trademark, and corporate stretch methods. She's passionate. I love this paragraph in her bio. She's passionate about helping actors, athletes, dancers, corporate employees, veterans, and those with injuries or physical limitations overcome challenges through faith-based counseling, therapeutic exercises, and mental skills training. That is awesome. I love the word passionate, by the way. She also shares her passion through her work as a columnist in the Los Angeles Tribune. Lene obtained her BA degree in dance, her MS in exercise science with a concentration in sports psychology, and is simultaneously completing her PhD in mind, body, and medicine and an MA in clinical mental health counseling. In addition to her formal education, Lene holds the following certifications and memberships. RYT 200, and I'm looking forward to learning about these certifications, Lene. RYT 200, our certificate yoga teacher. NASM certified performance enhancement specialist and comprehensively trained in both Polestar and peak Pilates methods. She is an Exhale certified beret instructor. I hope I got that right. Spinning certified instructor, NASE certified endurance coach, a member of the American Counseling Association, International Association for Worksite Health Promotion, the Women in Fitness Association, International Association for Dance, Medicine, and Science, the Society for Clinical and Experimental Hypnosis, the Association for Applied Sports Psychology. That is impressive. Lene recently accepted a position on the board of directors for International Association for Worksite Health Promotion. Lene was one of the original, this is the best part of it, Lene was the original cheerleader, was one of the original NFL cheerleader captains for the 1996 Carolina Panthers inaugural team. That was a fantastic team, by the way. Beat the butts of Lions, but
Kerry Collins was the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. They got an awesome this thing. And, you know, they kicked the butts of Lions, so what the heck, you know, another team to kick our butts, what the heck. But they were an awesome team and fantastic stadium. I love that stadium. That was it. She was twice nominated as the best beret instructor. I hope I'm saying beret right, Lene. Correct me after this. In the best instructor in the best Self Atlanta magazine, and served as a feature contributor writer for Best Kept Self magazine. In 2020, Lene was selected as one of the 5 inaugural Struct Scholars through the Struct Club and the Women in Fitness Association. Seriously, that's fantastically impressive. Welcome to our group. Thank you very much for making time for us. From Atlanta, where it is way beyond 7:30.
Thank you so much, Ravi. That was such a warm welcome, and I'm so excited to be here. It always is a bit awkward for me hearing my own bio. Mo and Anil know it's just not something that's my favorite thing to do, talk about myself. And I won't say my accomplishments because I believe that there's so many people that paved the way before me to make these things happen, and that literally have lifted me up to ensure my success. So I'll just say all of those things are just kind of icing on the cake, so to speak. And I'm grateful that you all like them enough for me to be here with you.
It's very
evening.
Impressive, and that you know that reflects a lot of hard work. And congratulations. I think that is what is more important. I think you know, each of those seems so fascinating. So tell us about that. Tell us a little bit more. I know, tell us a little bit more about you.
Absolutely, Robbie. And just one small correction, it's bar. If you think of the ballet bar or ballet dancer, yes, bar. That's all. It's okay. It's just a modality of exercise that uses the traditional ballet bar. And I'm sure Zena is familiar.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that. Obviously, don't know ballet that much, but congratulations, though.
Yes, Zena just said, just think of beer at the bar. There you go. That's perfect.
Sorry for butchering that part of it. Perfect. Sorry about that.
So that's okay. I used to have events probably 4 or 5 years ago that I'd opened to busy moms that needed a night out, and we'd do a bar class and then have wine afterwards. So we'd say bar and wine, but beer and bar is good, Zena. That's a good combo too. Yes, again, thank you for having me. My background is in movement, dance, exercise science, and then I'm really passionate about combining the physiological exercise with the psychological exercise, hence the mind-body connection. I worked in corporate America for many years, and for companies like Home Depot, Momentum Bank, Bank of America, Turner Broadcasting. And then after leaving corporate America in the legal department, I returned to movement, which was my first love and what I did my undergraduate work in, and started teaching in the corporate health club. So CNN then became my client, wherein I had worked for the actual company. And what I found was in business environments, people are so busy, and in particular entrepreneurs, that they were literally feeling either guilty or not taking time to take care of themselves. And so what that translated to was going back into the office and really trying to build organizations or enterprise on a less than full tank. And such a treat to come after and speak after Zena, because that postural alignment, I think, is definitely a foundation of even the way one sits in their chair while working is a part of the big wellness picture. And today I'm just interested in speaking a little bit more about mindful leadership and self-care. I have worked with C-suite executives and am extremely passionate as an entrepreneur myself in speaking a bit more about how entrepreneurs, as they are growing their enterprises, can incorporate certain tools. And I have a book suggestion as well. First, I'd like to also say that if organizations invest in the wellness, and I'm so happy to see what Zena said about working with Google and other companies, but studies show that if organizations invest in wellness of the leaders and employees on the front end, then they spend less in reactive health care on the back end, medical costs, insurance premiums, illness, injuries, and so forth. So from a performance standpoint, in working with teams and athletes as well, you literally can either play better, perform better in a business environment, or just reach higher heights when you are practicing mindfulness. And so the first tip I'd like to give is incorporating meditation into your daily practice. As Robbie went around, I made sure to pay attention to the different projects. I know that someone just returned from the Bahamas. Was that Ashok?
Ashok did.
Oh yes,
Ashok did.
Yes. Now that's a nice place to be, I would say, as far as beautiful scenery. But may I ask you, and I apologize for putting you on the spot, but just wanted to ask you from a place of translating what mindful leadership means and ways that you'd be able to incorporate that into your day to day. Were you able to partake in any of the beach or have any time to relax on your trip to the Bahamas?
So Lene, before Ashok answers that, I actually make there you go. He's back in the Bahamas already.
Oh, right? So he wasn't really in the Bahamas.
He was in spirit.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I took it and ran with it. I just took the liberty.
Right.
Well,
My bad.
That's a reality as well. It's taking moments and literally placing yourself in those environments. So you can go back to the Bahamas anytime that you want.
That's what I am.
And
exactly.
When you're stressed out, bring that feeling with you.
Yes.
Because I find that busy entrepreneurs typically work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with very little time off. And it's usually in the spirit of building your vision. And a lot of times it's hard to remove yourself from that vision, which in the end is counterproductive to the growth. So I'd like to start out with encouraging everyone to take 5 mindful minutes per day, if possible, to incorporate meditation, deep breathing, and some time of stillness. Now, 5 minutes to some people may sound like an eternity, because typically having that amount of time, some may say, well, time is money. I lose 5 minutes, then I've got to do all of these things to make up for that time during the day. But it's extremely important to make sure that you're spending some time to check in with yourself, especially with everything that's going on right now in the world. And speaking of which, from a standpoint of things that are going on in the world, Ravi said something earlier, is that we don't wear blue hats or red hats in TiE, but white hats. I think that was very profound, because there are not many people right now wearing the white hat. And I think that there's movement going on as far as changes that need to take place, and not getting too granular. And what I mean by that, with the exception of, there are people that are struggling in organizations with depression. The suicide rates are really high in our country right now. And I think a mindful leader would be in tune with that, would have a pulse on what's going on with people in their enterprise. So I would encourage entrepreneurs to check in not only with yourself for a few minutes every day, but taking that time will help you check in with people within your organization and your team to see how they're doing. And that is incorporating a spirit of mindfulness into the culture of your organization. I'd also say movement is medicine, and I'm biased because I come from a movement background. And there are times when literally your body needs to work energy out, needs to dissipate some stagnant energy. I saw when Zena was doing her lovely presentation, she stood up for a minute just to demonstrate the pelvis and the work that we need to do to maintain alignment and posture. Well, I encourage leaders and organizations and folks in office settings to be sure to check in and have a stand up. If you aren't unable or don't desire to work from a desk that has you stand, every few minutes, maybe once or twice an hour, stand up and walk around and move around a bit. That will allow you to check in with how you're doing as well. And mindfulness is defined in several ways, and it's really been used as a buzzword recently. There are a lot of people saying mindfulness, using mindfulness, but I like to stay away from stringent definitions, because I think that words like mindfulness are different for everyone. I think Deloitte has done a good job. They now have a chief well-being officer, someone that is in charge of their mindfulness. And I think that there's a trickle down effect. And if a mindful leadership principle or way of business is starting at the top executives of an organization, then that spreads throughout and has a domino or ripple effect with other people as well. And again, the investment on the front end is definitely worth what could be prevented on the back end of this. So the 5 minutes per day of stillness, that may be meditation for you, maybe prayer, maybe just simply checking in with yourself and seeing how you're doing as an entrepreneur. Also, that will allow you to understand how you're doing health-wise. There are some illnesses that people can sort of tune into before they truly manifest, and taking time to check in with yourself and how you're feeling, that allows you that opportunity to do that as well. As far as self-care, I don't necessarily believe that has to be this big dramatic practice every day of, having massage therapists come in all of the time. I think self-care simply means filling your cup back up. And if you have worked for 24 hours a day for a straight week or two, then practicing some self-care and taking some time to check in with yourself, if not daily, but at least I would say 2 to 3 times a week is a mindfulness principle that I encourage. One book that I suggest is Self-Care for Entrepreneurs, and it says nurture yourself and your legacy, because a lot of entrepreneurs think that or the general culture of entrepreneurship is, if you do not do certain things, and I'll put in the chat the name of the author here.
Thank you.
If you do not do, my pleasure, certain things, that your legacy and vision will suffer. Yet again, not to dwell on this one point, but it actually has an adverse effect if you do not take care of yourself on the front end. And that's nurture yourself and your legacy. So you're not only, as an entrepreneur, nurturing yourself, you're nurturing the vision that you're building for your company.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, for generations to come.
Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember you telling me about this from a philosophy standpoint. It was a lot of talk to me more about that philosophy, about and how you're looking at it from a fusion standpoint, right? So talk a little bit more about it.
Fusion?
Yeah,
Ravi?
you were looking at different you were looking at different philosophies
East
and putting
meets West.
and putting it together, and how we can do it, right? I mean, we are in a unique go ahead.
Some true actionable steps. I find with my corporate clients that many are so high functioning, especially my entrepreneurial corporate clients, small to medium sized companies, are so high functioning and so successful that things like sitting still for meditation just don't work for them. They're just either not willing to do it or feel that they don't have the time or capacity to sacrifice that time. And also too, from a spiritual standpoint, just maybe something they don't believe in. And that's okay too. Hence, the guided meditation for success is more a moving meditation, and it is a guided way to have the stillness that I mentioned while actually visualizing success and how you see your business growing and thriving in the future. And some of my doctoral studies are combining Eastern modalities like meditation and yoga with Western functionality and applications in business. Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
That's very, very interesting stuff. Interesting. I was going through your bio a little bit. Let me actually, before I ask my questions, anybody have some questions? Want to jump in with questions here, guys?
I had a question.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Sanjay.
Yeah, Sanjay, go for it.
Yes. Hi, Sanjay.
Yeah, hi, Lena. How are you? Sorry, Lene.
I'm
Sorry,
doing
I messed
well.
up your
That's
name.
okay.
So if you go out for a walk where you're not really doing anything, and let's say you spend 15, 20 minutes walking and just observing the nature around you, is that considered mindfulness, or that's really not mindfulness?
That is absolutely mindfulness. And I like, Sanjay, that you said not doing anything, because that would actually validate the point that I was making with sometimes we think that actually not investing every single minute into our businesses as entrepreneurs, we consider that not doing anything, when essentially what you're doing is adding years to your life, making yourself more productive, your business more productive, by taking the time to walk and look at nature. That is definitely mindfulness. That's a wonderful example, actually.
Yeah, so what I do is I have my phone off. I have my Apple Watch on because it gives me points for walking, I guess. That's the only reason. But I'm pretty much disconnected. I don't take any calls, no messaging, nothing. All I do for 20, 30 minutes is look out, look at nature, look at people, I guess, at times.
That's wonderful, Sanjay. I'm proud of you for taking that time.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, just wanted to know that. Thanks.
Yes, that is absolutely a great example of mindfulness. And also from a performance enhancement and motivation perspective, if getting the points is something that motivates you, I highly encourage that as well. Because I find that entrepreneurs, a lot of times we like a good goal and we like a good challenge. So if the Apple Watch giving you points as incentive, I say go for it. It's still mindfulness. Yeah.
Mo, go for it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great question, Sanjay. Can you guys hear me on here?
Yes, I can. Nice microphone. That microphone
you.
not hearing you is not possible. We do hear you.
So I want to say that I really hope, thank you, Lene. I really hope that you and Zena connect, because there's so much synergy. We've had a chance to really get to learn about what Zena's up to. So I really think the two of you should definitely connect after this. Would you agree, Zena?
I was about to say that, by the way.
My calendar link.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
We connected on LinkedIn probably right around the time that we connected, Neil and Mo, and I'm just so happy to officially meet Zena, and look forward to learning more and connecting.
That's amazing. So I just wanted to just throw that out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for looking out for us, Mo.
Absolutely.
Yes,
well, you've looked after my back all these months, Zena. It's the least I can do. If you have my back, I have yours. Okay.
I love it.
I have a question that's a little bit different. I've never had a chance to really ask you, Lene. What was it like being an NFL cheerleader? And you know, if you can tell us just on a surface level, but you know, even on a spiritual level, because what I know is a lot of times, Lene, I'm speaking from personal experience, when you realize a dream, it's not exactly what you thought it was, but it does give you a spiritual experience where you actually grow as a person. Did you experience something like that? Because I noticed you did it, but you did it for one season.
Right.
So you didn't really pursue it very much. And I noticed that. So I wanted to, if you could just delve into that, because I find that fascinating. I find that whole thing fascinating. Could you share that with us a little bit?
Well, thank you, Mo. We are actually our alumni association with the Carolina Panthers. That's the NFL team that I cheered for. We are actually celebrating our 25th year. That's dating me. So I love when Mo is so gracious to mention that, but it seems like ancient history. I am active with the organization as an alumnus, and also with the NFL Alumni Cheer organization. We are sister members to the NFL Alumni Association. They actually are having us come in and be members. And we were having a huge reunion in Las Vegas this year with all of the cheerleader alumni from different teams. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, it was recently canceled. And I'm pretty bummed about that. I'd already planned to go out there and see my cheer sisters. But Mo, that's a great point. That experience has and still has been one of the highlights of my career. Really, especially being in a smaller town like Charlotte, North Carolina, and a senior in college at the time, which is one of the reasons why I did it for one season. I did it as a senior. I will say for starters, because although I'm no longer under contract as a member of the organization, and being diplomatic, I have to definitely speak favorably. But I will say that from day one of the audition process, which was 500 women, over a month-long audition, it was tough. It was tough. I think that there is not enough credit given to performers, in particular sideline performers in athletic organizations. I have many friends that cheered for many years. And I will say that the pressures that are given in that world, I've heard models speak of pressures and those that have either left the modeling industry or stayed, the differences. And I would say from a perspective of that experience, being on the field and being a dance major at the time in college, there was nothing else better. You know, going on the field in front of and performing in front of 69,000 people, I'll never forget that experience. You can't even imagine what the roar of the crowd as a performer feels like. And my daughter last year, who's 13 now, she did the juniors program. And as her mom and an alumnus, I was able to be back on the field helping the little last year. And so just looking up, it's been years, many years since I felt that feeling. The experience was great, Mo, it really was, as far as a performance perspective, but the pressure that were required, and then the financial reward did not match the investment of time and weight requirements, hair requirements, makeup requirements. Look, it was very, aesthetically driven also. I'll just say that. And yeah, it was a great experience. Ravi and I talked a little bit about that. And I still judge auditions. I did last 3 years for the Atlanta Dream WNBA team here in Atlanta. And I'll sit on a panel, and I'm very particular about helping athletes transition from that world, because there are things that can psychologically, I will say, do damage. Yeah. But all in all, it was a great experience.
Yeah, we were talking about this, right? Where we said, you also said, it's not, I'm very surprised to hear that they are not very well paid either, right? There is a very big pay disparity. I mean, there are clubs that are, that literally it's a volunteer thing. I mean, you're doing all this stuff and the club does not own any part of it or reward any part of it, which I was surprised to hear.
Well, because cheerleaders are not necessarily revenue generating athletes. And
I would disagree. I mean, Lakers, and I mean, think about it, right?
I think so, but I think that some owners would prefer not even to have cheerleaders or dancers on the sidelines. They see it as a liability rather than an attribute. Yeah, it's very interesting. Unfortunate, but interesting. I have just launched a podcast, and I have a former Carolina Panther player, Brian Jean-Pierre, coming on to the podcast. Right. Yeah, and we have banter about that. He's a personal trainer now, and we have banter about his salary versus mine. and we weren't allowed contractually to say how much we made, but there is a huge disparity.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I think I was hearing about that. But now linking it back to mindfulness a little bit. Yes. There are teams now. I think Pete Carroll's team in Seattle is a huge part. They believe in this mindfulness. I know he did it in USC before he went to. I know we were talking about Tom Brady, who has a completely different mindset on this, right? So talk about that. And there are teams that are recognizing that.
Absolutely. I think not only mindfulness, but Jake Arrieta was in baseball, Major League Baseball, believes that he prolonged his career with Pilates. He definitely recovered as a pitcher through Pilates. And speaking of Tom Brady, there's no doubt in my mind that his career is what it is thanks to the wellness team that he has around him. And I think even his leadership team with the Patriots laughed at this guy that was coming in and doing these non-traditional modalities. But you know, the proof is in the winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, yeah, and how it helped. And I definitely confirm that had a lot, or has had a lot to do with his success. Yes.
I have a question back to mindfulness and stuff for entrepreneurs.
Sure, I know. Yeah.
Entrepreneurs. See, which is more powerful, doing a 30-minute meditation to get my mind clear, or doing 10-minute in the morning, afternoon 10-minute, and evening 10-minute, which is more better for like these entrepreneurs who are working all the time, you know, which gets us mind free,
right?
And you're at present.
Yes, I absolutely. That's a great question, Anil. I say doing it, period, is best, because I think that a lot of times entrepreneurs are so goal oriented that if it can't be done just right, then they just don't want to do it at all. And I say they, but I mean we just don't want to do it at all. So I would say smaller incremental moments of mindfulness versus the larger 30-minute, because the reality is, you know, your day, you know, your schedule and the things that you must accomplish in the day. And if 30 minutes is unrealistic for you to do on a daily basis, then it isn't going to happen. So I would say whatever it takes to be able to do that is a good thing. Yes. And if that's 10 minutes, morning and evening, great. If that's 30 minutes midday, or 30 minutes morning or evening, or 30 minutes both for an hour, sure. But whatever works, I think the key is doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of entrepreneurs get caught in this thing. Oh, I haven't done this. It's I think smaller is better.
Yes.
Thank
you. Well, you're welcome, and that's an excellent question. Yes, just doing it, and I say smaller, attainable goals are the best way to go, because you can be more consistent that way. Yeah.
Excellent. Any other questions before I ask anyone wants to jump in with questions here?
Just quickly, do you think, because I remember that team with Kerry Collins as the quarterback, they should have made it to the Super Bowl. Why? What happened?
Yes.
Because they had a damn good team.
Yes, we did.
I think they ran into injuries too. I think they ran into injuries.
We did. And I say we because, yes, Carrie was the quarterback then. Also, Dom Capers was the coach at the time, and a great man, but I just don't think that the coaching style really meshed with the talent on the team. Yeah, I do. And speaking of NFL as well, I am also having Dr. Jen Welter, the first NFL female football coach, who also coached the Arizona Cardinals, on my podcast soon, and also writing an article.
Wow, I didn't even know there was a female NFL coach.
Yes, she is the one.
Was she a head coach or?
No, she was not a head coach. She was a defensive line.
Defensive
line
coach?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. And not only that, she played football. She was the best female football player on women's teams, won Olympic gold medals and 3 Super Bowl rings, and then came into the male NFL and had an awful time, and then went into coaching.
Have you ever thought about coaching?
Not the NFL, no. But actually, from a performance perspective, I do work with teams on conditioning and sports psychology. Yes.
Actually, if you recall, San Francisco 49ers, the ad that ran during the Super Bowl, they had a sideline coach who was a lady who used to, there are Microsoft Windows. If you type in Microsoft Windows, there's the San Francisco 49ers had a coach who utilized AI, and they advertised it a lot during the build-up to the
I'll have to look that up.
I'll send you the link too. So she speaks about Microsoft Windows, how she used the tool in Microsoft Windows Surface, right? So that's what
I'll definitely check it out. Yes. But Dr. Jen is amazing. I say Dr. Jen because she is a PhD and is a sports psychologist, and we've had some wonderful conversations. It's tough. The odds that she faced and overcame are insurmountable. Yeah.
You spoke about your podcast twice. Tell us about your podcast.
Sure.
And
Absolutely. It is called Mindful Business Renegades. And the premise is incorporating mindfulness into business, but also both my podcast co-host, Joe Lemon, and I are entrepreneurs as well. And Joe works on the sports medicine side, selling sports medicine equipment to teams. And then, of course, my background that we just spoke of. So we are looking to shake up the way entrepreneurs think. And we have a couple of segments. In the beginning, we have a segment called What's in Your Cup, where we literally talk about current events and what's going on in the world. And then laugh about, as you all were doing a little bit ago, guessing what was in Balaji's cup. I think it was. Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
trying to get Mr. Mo to come on, but he's so busy. So we'll see. We can get him on.
It would be an honor for me.
We love for him to fit us in.
And actually, Deval, congratulations! You Deval, one of our charter members, has also launched a new podcast. It's the season of the podcast, over here. So I think that would actually be good. Maybe you guys can do some cross promotion and have each other on.
That would be great.
That would be nice.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic.
I would love that.
I'll connect you with Deval, Lene, when we get out of here.
Okay. Thank you, Mo. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Deval.
I think also one of the things, my wife works for Deloitte. She's a partner at Deloitte, and she has been right. Yeah, exactly. They have a fantastic program actually, and I was talking to her about what we are doing with Xena also, because they have this whole program there, right? And and she's been a partner for however long I've known her. She used to travel and stuff like that, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was kind of it's an easy day for her. Now with the Zoom thing, you're in back to back and hunching over this computer and a camera. for 10 hours a day. And it is more, they're talking about it being more exhausting for them from a physical standpoint. So what you guys are saying, both Zena and you, the posture and stuff like that is incredibly important. And I thank you for making us aware of that.
And there's not enough people talking about it.
Yeah, this is
there
brilliant.
isn't. We, I feel, as a country, are reactive when it comes to healthcare.
Yeah.
We are not preventative or proactive. And a lot of my research, doctoral research, is based on using alternative modalities to prevent injury and illness. Yeah. Yeah.
This has been so much fun. Listen, if any of us wanted to, or we are all entrepreneurs, needed to get back in touch or would like services, what exactly, I know you're studying and stuff like that. Talk about your services right now and how we could get in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's, as I say again, it's such a treat to see Zena's presentation and meet you, Zena. Similarly to Zena, I will go into corporations and do meditation workshops or yoga workshops or corporate stretch workshops, and am available. My website, let's see, I believe I posted it, but let me post it again. I could be reached at www.holisticperformancecenter.com.
You did. It's all the way up in the chat box. Yes, it is.
Great.
And we will distribute it too. And we'll distribute it to the
awesome.
absolutely.
We'll inundate you with that. And it's pretty turnkey. You can just book from there. I travel to do workshops as well. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, I worked a retreat with executive women I was supposed to do in Costa Rica was canceled. But that is something. I've been invited to Cape Cod to present a workshop to other behavioral health professionals that treat addictions, a yoga and hypnosis workshop. So I'm a hypnosis practitioner as well, an Ayurvedic medicine and energy medicine practitioner, helping people heal and prevent all of the things going on in the mind and body, because it's all connected. It really is.
Go ahead. Did somebody more?
Yeah, I had a question. I'm starting to get calls from I got a call from Google in Mountain View and places, because they've all instituted these long-term work from home situations, and in a lot of work from home offices are not really well set up. For a lot of workers, they need 2 monitors, they need sit-stand desks, and for the typical Manhattan apartment or San Francisco apartment, it's hard to find a desk that fits optimally where you want to put the desk. And that's what my company does, where you have a given model, and using augmented reality, you can actually order the dimensions you need, and it arrives in a couple of weeks, under 2 weeks. So my question is, do you ever work with other companies in collaboration to cross-promote things like this?
Yes, and I loved Mo's suggestion of doing exactly that with Zena and Deval. That would be great, and I'd love to do that with you as well, because I think that we are all in this together to achieve optimal performance for our clients and for the world. I think that, as Mo mentioned, not enough people are talking about this, and I really think, Tino, that your service, especially in the home workspace, is very much needed. And Zena can speak to ergonomically and posture, how that would all be connected and help people. But absolutely, I'd love to work with you and cross promote. So let's definitely, I will also put my email address in the chat. It's Lene at holisticperformancecenter.com.
Yeah, and you can type that out to panelists and attendees on the top. There you go. Fantastic.
Sure.
And I just put in the website, just FYI.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And, you know, another thing you brought up there, ergonomics and stuff. Right now, the issue is California, for example, every corporations, usually they have ergonomics equipment, keyboards, you know, those gel pads and all those.
Yeah.
Now, because of this COVID, everybody's working from, you know, home, most of it. So now it's a shift. Now there are going to be some shifts. So I was wondering actually last night, what should be the guy? You know, maybe I should come up with a mobile ergonomic. Hey, you want more ergonomic?
Yeah.
Deliver it for you.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea, Anil. I think that people and companies like Zena who help with posture will help counteract some of the quote unquote damage that people are doing in their new makeshift home workspaces. I really do. It's a matter of, you know, these home workspaces are being kind of thrown together because we didn't, of course, plan for this. And so I think Zena is more needed than ever. I also recommend, to your question earlier regarding the small incremental 10 minutes of mindfulness versus 30 minutes, I also recommend midday incorporating some movement. I do a lot of lunchtime yoga workshops or stretching workshops because it helps people kind of have a break in their day. And then they go back to sitting in their makeshift workspaces at home. But it helps a little bit, I find.
So absolutely. And we've had, right from the beginning of this, of our Connect events, we have had the good fortune of having Zena come in regularly for us. And we have had this absolutely, and we could not be more grateful for that. I think she's been keeping us aligned. When she's not here, we are all like pretzels, right? So yeah. So
I would actually, I don't mind. I would like to have Lenny come in. You know, also like 5-minute thing or whatever. She can come on.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to come back as often as you'd like. And we can actually do some guided meditation for success as well. I would love to do that.
Cool. We'll look into incorporating some of guided meditation into this. This is fantastic, right?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Just from a quality standpoint, going back to automotive, Japanese had this meditation technique, which Americans were looking at in the late 80s and early 90s when Toyota and Honda were kicking the butts of General Motors and Ford. It was documented that 6 to 10 IQS points of a Toyota brand was directly proportional to Japanese brands giving them breaks during middays to take, whether they have a nap or they have mindfulness or whatever you call, you know, their break from their regular assembly plant lines. And each point is about $100 million. So there is corporate value that is there in this, which you can, if you can translate that, you know, when you translate
it. Absolutely. I talk all the time about the ROI, and I do sit on the board of the International Association for Worksite Health Promotion. And it's interesting because we do have people on the board in the organization that are from other countries. And I am often a little disappointed in where we are here in the US. Such a wonderful country. I'm often disappointed that we aren't a little further ahead in recognizing the ROI and investing in mindfulness. In the workforce. But we'll get there.
Absolutely. And I think
one of the leaders,
I think who would have thought that football teams would be one of the few, football and basketball teams, professional teams would be adapting this. I think college teams are also adapting this. And I think
LeBron
once that
James
happens,
has a partnership with the Calm app.
And I just want to quickly say that one of the leaders in bringing this to the Western world is Zena, because she just is starting to incorporate this in the biggest company in the world. So she's bringing this to Google, And if Google picks up on it, everyone else is going to pick up on it. So
and Apple, by the way, and Apple.
And Apple, yes.
Yeah. So we can make a difference. You know, every person has the ability to start that revolution. And I think these two powerful, magnificent, glorious women that are side by side on the screen are going to make that difference on this planet. That's my personal opinion. And I'll bet I'll put my money where my mouth is.
We are rooting for that. Absolutely. Don't remember where you met each other, right? TiE SoCal Connect show. With,
I think I just heard Mo commit to signing up to for my desk program.
Absolutely.
I think so, Gina. I think that's 100%.
You have a 2-week trial.
Exactly what Lene is talking about. Get movement in your day.
Yes. And be proactive, not reactive.
Well, but to quickly address this ergonomic question that you guys are talking about, it's a question I get on every single workshop. I get a question about how should my desk be set up? How should my chair be setting up? And I actually have a website page that I just put up this week. Because you want to have the right screen and you want to have the right elbow position and the right wrist position and yada, 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 yada. But at the end of the day, the reason why we are suffering is we're not moving. So I recommend active sitting chairs. I recommend exercises. I mean, you can have the best ergonomics in the world and it's not going to overcome the back pain that you have from sitting. Like we've been sitting for an hour and 24 minutes now. We should all be standing up by now, right?
I'm sitting at the edge of my chair. So
with your pelvis in a neutral position.
There you go. I have. I've been lifting my leg up and down, by the way. So listen, this has been a lot of fun. He's got a cognac already. So Anil is ready to go. Hit the bars.
Yeah, what's going on, Anil? Why are you drinking so much, man? You're making me nervous.
I'm having
drinking a lot.
I like Lene's topic. Amazing. I'm enjoying the Friday, having a cognac. And Balaji is having beer.
There you go. Absolutely. Listen.
You're having water or tea?
I'm having water.
Ashish, why don't you come on camera, dude?
Who, me or who?
Say hello to Ashish. Say hello to Ashish and Jane. We have not said hi to Ashish and Jane, by the way. Ashish, good to see you. Chai in your hand.
Yeah, we have 14 people on the call and only 12 people have turned on their cameras. So at least 2 more people are.
I think Pankaj is driving. Pankaj is driving and Jane is...
Hi Ashish, nice to see you.
Man, Pankaj is enjoying himself there. Hey, Pankaj, don't have a beer or a cognac when you're doing that, right? I mean, it ain't good. Or a beer,
sunglasses. I like Pankaj's sunglasses.
There you go. I love the sunglasses. That looks like a... that looks like an awesome job, man. You're doing a ride by this thing. So listen, it's incredible. Thank you, Lene. This is absolutely, we've had a blast. Thank you for being patient. You're welcome anytime. We are going to add you to our Connect list, adding to Zena's. If we can add mindfulness, it'll be fantastic. It's awesome. Thank you for making time in Atlanta.
Oh, my pleasure.
I mean,
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Big hand. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for having me. Awesome. This has been lovely. Such a great group of people. Thank you. And cheers, Anil. I'll go get a champagne or something. Cheers.
Ashish, are you growing your hair out? Ashish, it looks like...
Yeah, no scissors for 2020, man.
Okay.
I decided not to go to any barber because of social distancing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Looks good.
Ashish, I decided to do the same thing, but I took a different approach.
You guys all
Let's see how long they grow.
You guys all have to wait for Ziba Beauty to open.
Hey, Ravi, I was just reading now, California is starting to open up schools, bars, gyms. So hopefully in a few weeks
coronavirus is done. Yeah, coronavirus is done, guys. This last week it disappeared. Don't worry. Look, this past week it went away magically. Poof.
Oof, it went away, right?
Just like Trump said,
he said.
Hey, remember white hats.
Hey, it's coming back, man. It's coming back.
No, it's gone, man.
Coming back.
It's not gone. They're saying it's weakening.
Yeah.
It's on, man.
My wife kicked me out of the house and said, "Go get a haircut." So I did get a haircut. I went to a sport club. My lady was there. She had to the person who does it. I gave her. She was very happy. So she was.
So actually, my cousin, my nephew, niece, and some of my their doctors in ICUs and ER, they're seeing the cases ticking up already from
Yeah, it's not a good thing, and California is still not letting up. So guys, don't for a moment think things are okay here. Okay?
Yeah.
Got to be careful. Yeah.
But hey,
have drinks.
Basketball is coming back. I'm looking forward to
coronavirus
football.
is gone. It's disappeared.
Corona.
You heard it from me.
I think Mo is sitting in his moon office. That's why he's saying it.
Mo, with that big screen like mic in front of you, there ain't going to be anything coming towards you, man. I'm telling you. That's the secret. Big ass microphone in front of you. No coronavirus.
Okay, guys.
It's 5:30.
So who thought that the number?
My producer has been pinging me saying, "Okay, you wound it up, so wind it up." Okay.
One quick question.
Go ahead.
Who actually thought that the 2.5 million numbers announced today were real? I'll just leave it at that. The employment numbers.
Great question, Sanjay. Great question.
Hey, man! If we're gonna question the employment numbers, let's question the coronavirus numbers. Let's question everything we hear then.
No, everything is looking awesome, man.
That's what happens when you have a cognac, and that's what happens when you say goodbye. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, Lene. And
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.
We are going to see you on Monday. Okay. I'll get an agenda out. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks, Ravi.
Have a great weekend.
Stay on.
Take care. Bye.